What is up, folks? Justin Phillip here from Dog Times Productions, and today we're going to be talking about LUTs and also how we can try to match the GH5 vlog footage with BlackMagic RAW film log footage. Maybe you guys are aware of a really great cinematographer, Matteo Bertoli, with Matteo Bertoli Visuals and ButteryFilms.com, and he's been creating some LUTs for the Pocket 4K and Sony cameras, and the Mini Ursa Pro, and the GH5 and GH5S, and he was kind enough to send me over his natural Rec709 LUT for both the Pocket 4K and the GH5. And they came in right around a pretty opportune time. I was shooting a passion project for my fiance. Here you can see some raw footage. This is ungraded right out of the Pocket 4K. This was recorded in BlackMagic RAW constant quality Q0. That's with the Sigma R 18 to 35 millimeter lens with a quarter black Pro Mist Tiffin filter. And here you'll see, now you can look at it when it is color graded with Matteo's natural Rec709 LUT, and also my own little tweaking primary color grading added to it as well. But right out of the gate, what I liked about their LUT from Matteo is that it handles the highlights really, really nicely. A lot of the LUTs that I've been trying out on the Pocket 4K, it is really harsh on the highlights. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but if you guys are familiar with my channel, you know the LUTs that I've been using on the Pocket 4K lately, and those other LUTs are super harsh on the highlights, and they tend to be a little crunchy too when it comes to contrast. With Matteo's natural Rec709 LUT, handles the highlights really, really well, and no crunchiness at all, and it just really gives you a nice launching pad to work with. I want to show you guys some side-by-side comparisons. Now, you're gonna have to decide which one you think is the GH5 and which one is the Pocket 4K. One of them is titled Camera A and the other one is titled Camera B. Both of these have Matteo's natural Rec709 LUT applied, and along with my own little color tweaking added. So here you go. Here you're looking at Camera A and Camera B. Which is which? If you've guessed that Camera A is the GH5, you would be correct. You are correct, sir. I had to go to Reno this past weekend and shoot very guerrilla style, very fast-paced pickup shots, B-roll pickup shots all weekend long for a film I shot last year on the original BlackMagic Pocket Cinema camera. This was a cabin next to the mountain that I just happened to drive by on my way back down to LA from Reno. I passed it and I said, whoa, I gotta get a picture of that. And so I just pulled over on the freeway real quick, and if you notice my Instagram, and you should, follow me at JPOnFilm. Let me know that you saw me on YouTube and I'll be sure to follow you back. But anyways, maybe you saw this picture on my Instagram. If not, whatever, now you're looking at it. When I was taking the picture, I thought, hey, maybe I should record a little bit of this house with a vlog and then whip out the Pocket 4K and film a little bit with that, and then we can compare this footage. So yeah, I don't remember the f-stop because I was on the side of the freeway. I can tell you that I was using the Tamron Pro Zoom lens 28 to 75 millimeter f2.8, the consistent 2.8 Pro Zoom lens, and the GH5 had the Viltrox focal reducer, the Pocket 4K had the Metabones on it, and I was using the Samad variable ND. I've already done a video about that Samad variable ND. In my opinion, it is the best variable ND. If you haven't seen that video, I encourage you to check it out. I'll leave a link down in the description below. Here you're looking at the raw footage right out of the GH5. This is vlog, all I internal 400 megabits per second, vlog 10-bit. If you're wondering how I record internally, I use the Evoke FreeTail SD cards, really, really awesome little V60 cards. If you check out the link down in the description below to my online kit bag, my entire filmmaking kit bag is there, and you'll see those Evoke FreeTails in there, a really good deal. And they also work nicely for getting BlackMagic RAW Q5, if you're interested in that and trying to save some money on some CFast cards. This is the RAW out of the GH5 vlog, and then this is just with Matteo's natural Rec709 LUT. And here it is with my little tweakings that I added to it. Now what I'm going to show you is the raw BlackMagic RAW right out of the Pocket 4K. This was BlackMagic RAW constant quality Q5, BlackMagic film log look, obviously. And then you'll see here with Matteo's Bibsy 4K natural Rec709 LUT applied. And then here it is with my little tweaking added to it. And here we'll look at the final versions of them side by side. One of them is the GH5 and the other one is the Pocket 4K. I wanted to get some skin tones and stuff, but I also wanted to get this video out, and I didn't have a whole lot of time to bring in some actor friends of mine, so I just acted in this little, I just sat down on the table and you know, I lit it properly and exposed it properly. One thing I do want to say to you guys, if you're using LUTs and you plan on using a LUT in post, I would highly encourage you to monitor while you're shooting with the LUT that you plan on using. Because like I said, some of the LUTs that are out there are really harsh on highlights, or they're super crunchy, or whatever the case may be. For whatever reason, it doesn't matter what LUT it is, I don't care what it is, you should be monitoring and exposing for that LUT, and whether you're loading it in on your camera or it's on your monitor or wherever it is. Otherwise, you're shooting blind and you don't know what you're gonna end up with. So yeah, here I was, I sat in on this, and this was done with the Sigma Art 18 to 35 millimeter lens. I threw on the quarter Tiffin Black Pro Mist filter. The reason why I tend to use the quarter Black Pro Mist with that Sigma Art is because I just think it's a really nice combo. I like the way both those things go well together. With this particular shot, the GH5 V-Log native ISO 400, same with the BlackMagic RAW native ISO 400. The f-stop on this one was a 2.8, I believe, and the white balance was an interesting thing. I had the white balance I had them both set to, it was either 53 or 5400. And then you'll see here in post where I had to tweak some things to match the color temperatures when I was trying to match the two cameras. Because a lot of these cameras, like the GH5, the Pocket 4K, they don't really have a really nice Rec709 look to them. So he's kind of giving you a nice springboard where you can really, you know, launch from and go to town with your own color grading process. Okay, now I think it would be fun to, just for shits and giggles, to compare Mateo's natural Rec709 LUT for the GH5 with the infamous GH Alex LUT that I used to be a very big fan of using that with Vlog. And we can kind of just, you know, look at these side by side. Now, this one is the Mateo's Buttery Films Natural Rec709, and then this one is the GH Alex Daylight LUT. So yeah, that's just kind of I just thought it'd be interesting to just look at those. Now with these particular ones, I didn't do any other additional color grading. I only just laid on the LUT, just so you guys could kind of look at these and compare those a little bit.